Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. This defendant found a Facebook post which told him how to travel. Obviously, it didn't work out very well. But I think he did figure out how to chat GPT the best apology letter I've ever heard. Also, he might dabble in some acting. Check his IMDb. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
We'll call Daniel Acosta. That's file 25-43475-FY.
Jonathan Baber on behalf of Mr. Acosta.
Daniel Fernando Acosta the first.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, there's been an issue here. Somehow Mr. Acosta slipped through the cracks here, and I spoke about it with Mr. Brown. He's not qualified for a public defender. He's pretty well to do. He's a business owner, covers his son's tuition at college. And Mr. Acosta, with my first conversation with him, was kind of curious about what I was doing as his attorney. So if the court's permission, I'd like to just proceed forward to help out for today's purposes. But Mr. Acosta would like to explore speaking to the prosecutor on his own behalf, and in the alternative, maybe retaining an attorney if he can't reach a resolution in this matter.
That's fine with the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
So what we're going to need to do is my client, I've already talked to him about the waiver of the 21-day rule. He still wants to preserve his right to have a preliminary examination, but he will waive having it within the first 21 days. I've already presented him the offer from the prosecutor that I've discussed with the prosecutor. I've given him copies of the police report and also some body camera videos in this case. So my client is good to go to proceed with speaking with the prosecutor, and if he can't resolve, he's got attorneys that he knows that he could likely retain in this case.
All right, Mr. Acosta, is that what you want to do today?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right.
And thank you, Mr. Baber, for your time and all the work you've done. I really do appreciate you.
No problem, sir.
All right. Mr. Baber mentioned what's known as a waiver of the 21-day rule. By reason of your charge being a felony matter, you have the absolute right to have the preliminary examination within 21 days of your original arraignment. You also, however, if you wish, can adjourn that out for a longer period of time to give you an adequate opportunity to investigate and to discuss resolution with the prosecutor. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
I will indicate that you have waived the 21-day rule. You still have the right to have that hearing. It's
Right.
simply going to be at a later date, and the court will reset that. Mr. Acosta, today is the 20th. I am not in court. I'm in training on March the 6th, which would be 2 weeks from now. Would it be sufficient if we have another status conference on the 13th of March and then set your preliminary examination for the 20th? That gives you almost a month to try to resolve the matter.
No problem at all. That's greatly appreciated. That should be
All right.
sufficient time.
And before the court closes the file, on behalf of Mr. Acosta, I would like to make a request to a modification of the bond in this case. In addition to being a business owner as a part-time thing, he still does some acting, and actually I've looked up his IMDb. He's got credits of 40 castings in this case. I believe he has a pre-existing obligation for work that would take him out of state. So I'm asking the court to allow my client to travel out of state for the purposes of employment. I can tell you he has great ties to Michigan. He's been a lifelong resident. He owns a business here. His son goes to college here. And he does have some contacts here in northern Michigan because he's expanded some of his clientele for his heating and cooling business to helping out up here in northern Michigan. I don't believe he's a flight risk in this case, and I do believe that he'll be able to still comply with the court orders, even if he does have to travel out of state a couple of times during the pendency of this case.
Mr. Acosta, is there any documentation of your out-of-state employment? I mean, are there specific jobs that have documentation that you could submit to the court and times when you would be gone because of those things?
Now the times are very hard. The dates that I'm actually acting, which I'm actually full-time acting as well. What do you call it? Those dates I can give you solidified. The projects that I have going on out of town, I just have documentation of the contracts, how long they take. It varies on how big of the job is. Right now I'm at the Hawk Country Club out there. I've had to delay going out there because I gotta finish up the outside. I did all the spiral duct in the tent, and now I gotta finish the outside to the 15-ton unit. So I've just been putting him off. I can show you our texts and everything. I really didn't
All
want to
right,
let him
well,
know the situation that I was in.
yep. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to modify your bond to allow you to leave the state of Michigan for work purposes. But here's the
Thank
deal.
you
If
so
you don't
much. I
show
really
up,
do appreciate it. Oh no,
you're
we
going to
won't
get
have that
yourself,
problem.
in trouble. So make sure that you know when you're supposed to be in court and the time you're supposed to be in court. But we will allow you to leave the state of Michigan for work purposes. Is there anything else, Mr. Baber, that needs to be done today?
That's it. Just in order of the court releasing me of my duties as a public defender based upon what's been stated on the record, that'd be great. A
Yeah,
verbal
I
order will be
will.
fine.
I will release you from your duties there. I do appreciate the way that you've handled that. That was very helpful to the court to assist today. And so with our thanks, you are released. Mr.
Thank you,
Acosta,
Judge.
you understand all of the responsibilities that you have now to appear and when to appear and what you need to do?
Of course I do. Yes, I do.
All right, that'll be the order of the court then, and we'll modify your bond as we just talked about. Thank you both very
Thank,
much.
thank
God
you,
bless
Judge.
all of you, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.
43475-FY. Today is the date and time set for a preliminary examination. Mr. Costa, the court has received some information that you may not wish to have your preliminary examination, but wish to enter a plea. Is that correct today?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right. In the past, you have indicated that you wish to proceed without an attorney and represent yourself. Is that still your wish?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Do you believe that you understand the charges and the court procedures sufficiently to be able to represent yourself and do not need the assistance of an attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. I will abide by your request then. Having said that, you should know that attorneys are trained in the law and in the procedures. They may know those things better than you. They may know things that would assist you. And if you are operating without an attorney, you would be required to comply with all the court rules and procedures, whether you knew them or not. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Knowing all of that, do you still wish to represent yourself?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to.
All right, then I will allow you to do so. Mr. Fortier, has there been an offer made to Mr. Acosta?
There has, Your Honor. It's for an added count 3 of allowing a suspended person to operate and an added count 4 of disorderly conduct. And that, if you could give me a second, I will pull up the PAC code for that. And actually, Judge, we'll do, fits it better. It's the same penalties, but disturbing the peace. So it'd be an added count 4 of disturbing the peace, which is MCL 750.170. It's a 90-day and or $500 fine.
All right, Mr. Acosta, I understand the offer to be that if you plead to added charges of count 3 and 4, which is allowing an unauthorized person to operate a vehicle in count 3, that is a misdemeanor offense, has a maximum penalty of 93 days and or a $500 fine, but typically it's just a fines and costs, and it is not reported to the Secretary of State. And then count 4, disturbing the peace, which is a 90-day misdemeanor with a $500 fine. If you plead to those 2 reduced charges, then count 1, police officer resisting and obstructing with the habitual second, which is a sentence enhancement, would be dismissed. And count 2, driving with a license suspended, revoked, or denied as a sentence enhanced second offense, would be dismissed. So the 2 more serious offenses would be dismissed, and you'd be pleading to 2 less serious offenses. Is that your understanding of the offer?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my complete understanding.
All right. If you accept that offer, you would not have a trial of any kind, so you'd be giving up all of your trial rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Those trial rights include the right to be represented by an attorney or to represent yourself, the right to have a trial before a judge or a jury, the right to see, hear, and question the witnesses against you, the right to present witnesses and evidence on your own behalf, and to get an order from the court called a subpoena to require those witnesses to appear and testify. You could also testify yourself, or you could remain silent, and that silence could not be used against you. Also, at trial, you'd have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and that burden of proof would remain with the prosecutor at all times. Finally, at a trial, you'd have the right to automatically appeal any error at that trial. However, if you enter a plea, you could be limited to asking the court for permission to appeal. Do you understand all of those rights?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Understanding all of those rights and understanding what the plea offer is it still your desire to enter a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right. Would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in and take some testimony? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. You can put your hand down, sir.
Yes, sir.
Has
Yes.
anybody promised you anything other than this plea agreement to get you to plead today?
No, Your Honor, they did not.
Has anybody threatened you in any way to get you to plead today?
No, Your Honor,
Are you doing this of your own free choice and free will?
I am.
All right. The added two charges would read as follows. They would say that on or about February the 10th of 2025 in the city of Gaylord and Otsego County, that as to the reduced charge from the police officer resisting and obstructing charge, count 4 would be disturbing the peace, and that you did disturb the peace in a public place. What did you do and where did you do it that would be disturbing the peace?
I was pulled over and I did not get out the vehicle. So therefore I was disturbing the peace.
Was that in a public place?
Yes, it was. It was outside of the O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
And where you speak, what did you do that was disturbing to the peace?
Well, did not lawfully obey the officer's request upon getting out the vehicle.
All right. And were you speaking loudly or acting in a manner that you believed could have disturbed the public's peace?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Fortier, do you have any other questions as to a factual basis on count 4?
No, Your Honor.
Then as to the reduced charge of allowing an unauthorized person to operate, which is the reduced from driving license suspended, were you operating a vehicle on a public highway, that is M32, without the license properly authorized?
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
And do you know why your license was suspended?
Yeah, it started with tickets when I was young.
All right. And you knew at the time that you were operating that the license was suspended?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
All right. Again, Mr. Fortier, any questions as to the factual basis?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I do believe that Mr. Acosta has given me a proper factual basis as to both counts. He's admitted as to the AUPO, the unauthorized, allowing another unauthorized person to operate, that his license was suspended and he was operating a vehicle on a public highway. And as to the disturbing the peace charge, he has indicated that it was disturbing the peace of those people around him in public, on a public highway or public area. And in answer to my questions, I believe he's given me a plea knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Let me catch up on my paperwork here for just a second.
Not a problem.
All right, Mr. Fortier, are you expecting to proceed directly to sentencing today?
Yes, we can, Your Honor.
Mr. Acosta, are you asking me to proceed directly to sentencing today?
I agree. Yes.
All right. I'm going to give Mr. Fortier an opportunity to tell me what it is that he believes should be done with sentencing, and then so that you have an opportunity to hear that, and then you can respond after he's done, sir. So, Mr. Fortier, go ahead.
Your Honor, so I've had the chance to talk to Mr. Acosta, I don't even know how many times throughout the course of his case. Um, I looking at his criminal history, it's mainly just driving offenses. So I truly do believe what he tells me is that this is just completely out of character for him. Um, I mean, I watched the body cam video. It wasn't physically violent. There was no physical resisting. It was just as he kind of said in the factual basis. He was asked to get out of the car numerous times, and he just I don't know exactly what he was thinking, but just kept asking questions and ignoring the requests and commands to get out of the car and just didn't do it. And eventually they opened the door and had to put hands on him and pull him out. But I mean, he wasn't pushing back or anything. I mean, as soon as they opened the door and got him out of the car, they took him straight into custody. Um, so really, I mean, the main thing that I'm asking for, because I think this is a lesson learned for him. So I would be asking, I don't know if probation is going to do any good, but I would ask, and I discussed this with him earlier today, for a couple of handwritten apology letters to the troopers, which is Trooper Wenner and Trooper Gothier with the state police. That's really the only thing I'd be looking at having done besides having him pay the standard fines and costs for each count. And I would leave the determination of whether or not to impose any probation up to the court.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fortier. Mr. Acosta, is there anything that you want me to consider before I impose a sentence?
Um, just if I might, I'm not detesting anything, but I did voluntarily get out the vehicle. I just was asked several times before I did it, and I went right down to the ground with them and told them I wasn't resisting. They said thank you for not resisting. So actually, they didn't have to pull me out. They just had to. They told me they're gonna break my window or get out, and I said I got right out.
So tell me what you learned.
Well, I learned. Well, I did write something so far. And if I could read it, maybe that'll help you see what I've learned.
Certainly.
Okay. I started off because I didn't know the officers' names and there were several of them there. So I was going to say to the officers of the Michigan State Police Department, I said, I want to start off by saying how deeply and sincerely and devastating sorry for this blatant mistake I made. I want to apologize for the stupidity I displayed by assuming some Facebook post could have convinced me that I have the right to travel. I want to acknowledge that I was idiotic to even question my rights, fully knowing that my license was not valid in the first place, making me automatically guilty of a crime. I have learned my lesson and am thankful to the agency and both of you for being so merciful and blessing me with the chance to rectify the situation without losing my freedom. I'm sincerely disappointed in my actions and not fully submitting and possibly making any of the officers feel at unease. I know the job, or should I say, the service and career and the duties you all carry out are very dangerous and very necessary to the democracy we hold dearly. Again, my deepest and sincerest apologies. Much love and respect, Citizen Daniel Fernando Acosta the First. Thank you all, and especially for your service.
Well said, Mr. Acosta.
Mhm.
I would venture to guess that our police would be very pleased to hear that. And our citizenry, if they had that attitude all of the time, things would go so much more smoothly when they have contact with the police, if people would have that sentiment in mind at the beginning of the case as opposed to at the end of the case.
Right.
I appreciate the thought that went into that. It was well spoken. What I'm going to ask you to do is to send a copy of that
Right.
or the original, whichever you
No, the
prefer.
original.
Send that to the prosecutor's office, and Mr. Fortier will then forward that on to the police officers. I'm sure that they will be pleased to receive that as well. Is there anything else that you want to tell me, sir?
Yeah, just I'm thankful for both of you guys blessing me with the lesser charges and everything because I got a lot going for me in my life and I got a lot of people out there. This could have been detrimental to my future, and I know that.
Well, the attitude with which you've come before the court and apparently before the prosecutor bodes well for your future. I think that you are conducting yourself in an honorable manner, and so I'm going to treat you that way.
God
Your
bless.
statement to the court about your apology letter was a highly held in my eyes, and I simply wish that you would continue to conduct your life that way. If you do that, I don't think you're going to have any trouble in the future. So I'm going to do the minimum that I believe is required of me as far as sentencing goes. And if you would send that letter into the prosecutor's office, I think that'll complete all that we need to do. I'm not going to put you on probation. There are some small amounts of fines and costs that I'm required to impose. There's a $75 crime victim fee, a $50 justice assessment. I'm going to reduce the costs to $50, the fine to $25, and the local charge to $15. That's $215. How much time do you need to pay that?
Just within the month.
All right, 30 days to pay. And submit
And I'm
apology letter to the prosecutor.
I'm gonna go ahead and overnight that. I'm gonna get the first class mail real quick.
I appreciate that. Let me give you a number that you can call to make the payment for that if you need to contact the court directly. Correct. And if you do that, make your payment within 30 days and submit the apology letter, the case will be done.
God bless you guys. I'm gonna send it out right now.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you. And I got the email, Mr. Aaron. I appreciate you.
All right, sounds good.
God bless you guys. Take care.
You too.